Was this really just a simple mistake? Or is there something much deeper going on under the surface? I mean, think about it. We've all been there where we make a choice and then immediately wish we could hit the undo button. But in Port Charles, those buttons don't exist. This week's General Hospital promo is literally called Mistakes Leave Traces. And let me tell you, the traces are starting to look more like a giant neon crime scene. Is it just me? Or does it feel like the writers are finally letting the other shoe drop for everyone at the exact same time? We aren't just talking about a little white lie or a missed appointment here. We are looking at life and death consequences that are going to change the face of the show for a long time. So let's get into the absolute chaos that is the week of May 11th, because honestly, my head is still spinning from that promo. The biggest mess, and yes, that is the word the villain Sidwell used, is coming straight out of that wild brawl between Valentine Cassadine and Jack Brennan. Can we just talk about Nina Reeves for a second? What was she even thinking? Well, okay, we know she wasn't thinking. That's kind of her brand, right? She sees Valentine in trouble and her panic mode just kicks into high gear. She grabs a syringe and jabs it right into Jack Brennan's neck. But here's the kicker. That wasn't just some random sedative. It was the locked-in drug that Sidwell gave Willow specifically to keep Drew Kane paralyzed. I mean, the irony is just dripping off the screen. Nina tried to save Valentine, but instead, she basically performed a medical hit on a high-level WSB asset. You have to wonder if, deep down, Nina is just addicted to the chaos at this point. Psychologically, she operates on this hero complex, where she thinks she's saving the day, but she usually just sets the house on fire instead. Now Brennan is unconscious and fighting for his life in the hospital. How is she going to explain this? If Brennan wakes up, and we know he probably will because he's Brennan, he is going to be the most dangerous enemy Nina has ever had. He knows exactly who put that needle in his neck. Do you think he's the type to just let that slide? I don't think so. But wait, the plot thickens because Nina's deadly mistake actually created a huge opening for Drew Kane. See, since Jack got the dose that was meant for Drew, our favorite congressman/prisoner is starting to wake up. He's literally moving his fingers and trying to reach for a phone. Can you imagine being Willow right now? You walk into the room, and the man you've been keeping in a chemical cage is starting to look back at you. Sidwell wasn't kidding when he told Willow they have a massive mess on their hands. Willow has to be feeling this incredible sense of dread. She's trying to be this new version of herself, this darker, more calculating Willow, but she's clearly in over her head. I honestly feel like Willow is playing a game she doesn't understand the rules to. And now she has to deal with her mother, who just accidentally blew the whole operation. What do you think Willow is going to do when she finds out Nina wasted the meds on Brennan? It's going to be an absolute explosion between those two. And speaking of explosions, let's move over to the Falconeri household, because things are getting very real over there. Dante Falconeri finally knows the truth, and honestly, it's about time, right? For weeks, we've watched him hunt for the person who shot Ross Cullum, and the whole time, the answer was sitting right at his dinner table. With a little help from Elizabeth Baldwin, who pointed out that gun slide burn on Rocco, Dante finally put two and two together. He knows it wasn't Jason Morgan. He knows it was his own son, Rocco. Can we just talk about the look on Dante's face in that promo? It's not just anger. It's total heartbreak. He goes straight to Lulu's house and demands to know why she kept him in the dark. I have to ask you guys, whose side are you on here? Because I can see both. Lulu is a mom. She's in total protection mode, trying to keep her kid out of the system. But Dante is the cop. He's the commissioner. By keeping him out of the loop, she basically told him she doesn't trust him to be a father first and a cop second. This is going to leave traces on their relationship that might never wash off. Dominic Zamprogna even teased that this is going to lead to some huge emotional fallout. I mean, do you think they can ever really go back to being a team after this? And let's not forget about Jason Morgan in all of this. Stone Cold actually took the fall for a kid. He's sitting in a WSB cell right now because he wanted to protect Rocco. That is such a classic Jason move, but it's also kind of tragic, isn't it? He's prioritizing someone else's child over his own relationship with Danny. Dante actually scoffed in an interview, saying we didn't need another reason to love Jason. But let's be real, Dante owes him big time now. But the real question is what Dante does next. Does he do the by-the-book thing and arrest his son? Or does he become the very thing he's spent his career fighting? Someone who covers up a crime. It's a total psychological nightmare for him. He's spent his whole life being the good guy, and now he has to choose between his badge and his blood. What would you do if you were in his shoes? Would you turn your own kid in? Now, we have to talk about Elizabeth for a minute because she's in some hot water too. She basically handed Dante the evidence he needed, but she did it by violating every medical privacy law in the book. She even admitted she didn't report Rocco's injury because she was doing a favor for a friend. I love Liz, I really do, but that is a massive HIPAA violation. She's basically a walking legal disaster right now. She thought she was being noble and helping a friend, but she might have just nuked her own career. And the funny thing is, the show didn't even focus on the legal side. They focused on the heart. But you know how Port Charles works. Someone is going to find out. Someone like Rick Lansing, maybe. Speaking of Rick, he's having quite the week himself. Sonny Corinthos is officially spiraling, and I am here for the drama. But man, it's getting dark. He's got Rick at gunpoint because he thinks Rick is a traitor. Sonny is off his meds, he's paranoid, and he's seeing enemies behind every curtain. But Rick's excuse is actually kind of sweet, in a weird soap opera way. He says he was just meeting with Ava because she's helping him buy a painting for Liz. Can you imagine? Sonny is ready to pull the trigger over a secret art deal. It just shows how far gone Sonny is right now. He can't even conceive of a world where people are doing things for reasons other than betraying him. Psychologically, Sonny is in a bunker mentality where everyone is a target. And then you've got Ava Jerome in the mix, who is always playing 3 different games at once. She's got this new thing going on with Ethan, and people are already theorizing that he might be trying to rob her gallery. What do you think? Is Ethan really a Bonnie and Clyde style art thief, or is there actually something real brewing between him and Ava? And while all that's going down, the teen scene is absolutely falling apart. Danny and Rocco are finally going to go at it, and honestly, it's about time. Danny is so angry because his dad was taken away for something he didn't do, and Rocco has just been sitting there watching him suffer. Can you imagine the guilt Rocco is carrying? It's no wonder he's snapping at everyone. The promo shows him clashing with Danny and Charlotte, and it looks like it's going to get ugly. And can we talk about Charlotte and Danny for a second? They had that one kiss, and everyone was like, wait, aren't they related? Well, the show actually addressed it. They realized they are distant cousins and decided to just be ride-or-die besties instead, like a new generation of Jason and Carly. I kind of love that. It's a lot more interesting than a weird romance. But Danny is still looking for answers, and he's even going to Sonny to get ammunition. He wants to do something to get his dad back, and he's starting to hear the name Sidwell. This kid is heading down a very dark path, and I don't think Jason is going to be happy about it when he gets home. We also have the investigation into Jordan's crash, and Curtis Ashford is officially on a warpath. He is absolutely convinced that Isaiah Gannon is the driver who caused the wreck. He's checking the make and model of Isaiah's car and pushing the acting DA to put him in the hot seat. But here's the thing, Isaiah is being evasive for a reason, and it's not what Curtis thinks. He was on an unofficial house call for Lulu and Rocco that night, and he's trying to protect them. So once again, a mistake is leaving traces that are being misread by everyone. I have to ask, do you think Curtis is taking this too far? I mean, I get he's upset about Jordan being injured and disfigured, but he's acting like a man obsessed. And is it just me, or does anyone else suspect Brooklyn might have had something to do with that crash? She's been awfully quiet about it. Then there's the imposter in the PCPD. Nathan West is actually Cassius Faison, and he's currently holding Jocelyn Jacks hostage at Winmere. Carly is starting to freak out because Joss is missing, and she's even questioning Nina and Brennan about it. Can you imagine the irony if Carly ends up hiding an unconscious Brennan in her attic while she's looking for her daughter? That is some classic soap opera nonsense right there. And Cassius is really letting his mask slip. He's trying to play the part of the hero cop, but Dante is already telling him to stay away from the family. Dante doesn't know he's an imposter yet, but he knows something is off. And speaking of the PCPD, we've got a new face arriving soon. Jonathan Bennett is joining the show as Officer Joe Fitzpatrick. He's not a doctor, he's a cop, and he's going to be in the mix starting May 18th. I'm really curious to see if he's going to be a good guy who helps crack the case, or if he's got his own dark secrets. Port Charles could definitely use some competent police work right about now, don't you think? The week of May 11th is shaping up to be one of the most intense weeks we've seen in a long time. Every character is dealing with the traces of their mistakes. Nina's panic led to Brennan's collapse. Lulu's silence led to Dante's heartbreak. Liz's favor led to a legal nightmare. And Danny's anger is leading him straight into the mob. It's like a giant web where every time someone pulls a string, 3 other people get caught. I honestly don't know how they're going to clean up this mess. Sidwell might be the villain, but he's the only one being honest about how bad things have gotten. Is this just a messy divorce in the making, or are we watching the birth of the most cold-blooded villain Port Charles has seen in a generation? That's the question that should be burning a hole in your brain after seeing that mysterious figure lurking in the bushes, snapping photos of Willow and Chase in the park. You saw it, right? That classic soap opera setup where a moment of pure, raw vulnerability is captured through a long-distance lens to be used as a weapon later. But the real shocker isn't just that they're being watched, it's the person holding the remote control to this entire disaster. We aren't just looking at a random stalker here. We are looking at a calculated, high-stakes, cheating trap, orchestrated by none other than Michael Corinthos. It makes you wonder, when did Michael stop being the moral compass of the family and start becoming the architect of his own wife's destruction? Let's set the stage because this isn't just about a few grainy photos. Chase and Willow were in the park, having what appeared to be a very private, very emotional conversation about baby Phoebe. Chase is spiraling, worried that his Quartermaine ties are going to nuke his chances of adopting that little girl. And Willow, being the empathetic soul she is, or at least the version of her Chase still believes in, is right there offering a shoulder to lean on. But while they think they're alone, someone is clicking away. Now, logically, you have to ask, why would Michael do this? He's not just looking for a reason to leave Willow, he's looking for a reason to destroy her reputation so completely that she loses everything. Psychologically, Michael is operating from a place of pure, unadulterated betrayal trauma. He's watched his mother, his father, and now his wife all lie to him in different ways, and his response is to seize total control of the narrative. He isn't just reacting to Willow's drift toward the dark side, he's manufacturing a scenario where he becomes the victim and she becomes the pariah. It's a level of gaslighting that would make even Sonny Corinthos take a step back and say, "Whoa, kid, maybe slow down." The funny thing is, the person actually holding the camera might be a face from the past. Spoilers mention that Judy Kane is returning as Elaine Stevens, a private investigator we haven't seen since 2024. She's worked for the Quartermaines before, so it makes perfect sense that Michael would have her on speed dial. Think about the professional coldness required to stand in a park and document a man's heartbreak just to help his friend set a trap. Interpretation-wise, this photographer represents the death of privacy in Port Charles. Everything is a commodity now. Every hug, every tear, every "I'm here for you" is just data points for a legal brief. I personally think Michael's choice to use a PI is the ultimate sign that he's done with the Quartermaine family-first mentality. He's moved into full-blown corporate warfare, treating his marriage like a hostile takeover where he needs to find enough dirt to fire the CEO, which, in this case, is Willow. And then we have to talk about the Jacinda Bracken factor. Michael didn't just hire a PI. He actually sat down and let Jacinda in on the plan. Why her? Out of everyone in town, he picks the person who is already knee-deep in the mess with Sidwell. It suggests that Michael isn't just acting on emotion, he's building an alliance of the disregarded. He feels like a fool for being kept in the dark about Willow and Drew, so he's making sure he has the most dangerous person in the room on his side. It's a classic case of the enemy of my enemy is my business partner. Emotionally, Michael is checked out. There's a hollowed-out quality to his actions now. He's not looking for a way to save his marriage. He's looking for the most efficient way to incinerate it. It's actually quite terrifying when you realize that the most stable man in town is currently the one most likely to burn the whole thing down just to prove a point. Now, look at Chase in this situation. He is the ultimate collateral damage. He's already terrified of losing Phoebe, and now he's being used as bait in a trap he doesn't even know exists. Every time he leans on Willow, he's unknowingly tightening the noose around both their necks. Psychologically, Chase is a man who thrives on honor and the law. If he found out he was being photographed to make it look like he was cheating on Brooklyn, it would break him. Michael knows this. He's counting on Chase's natural goodness to make the photos look authentic. It's a brilliant, albeit evil, use of Chase's personality against him. Michael is basically weaponizing Chase's grief over the adoption to get the money shot of him and Willow looking a little too close. Do you think Michael even cares that he's potentially ruining Chase's life along with Willow's? It doesn't seem like it. He's become so laser-focused on justice for himself that anyone else's happiness is just a secondary concern. What makes this even messier is the secret Brooklyn is sitting on. We know she's worried about being the real cause of Jordan's accident. So, imagine the escalation here. Chase is being framed for an affair with Willow, while his actual wife is hiding a hidden run that could land her in prison. The Quartermaine house isn't just a mansion anymore, it's a powder keg. If those photos of Chase and Willow surface at the same time Brooklyn's secret comes out, the fallout won't just be a divorce, it'll be a total social and legal massacre. Michael is setting himself up to be the only clean person left standing. It's a very calculated move to ensure that when the dust settles, he has the house, the kids, and the moral high ground. But is any of it real if you have to lie and manipulate to get there? Let's dive deeper into the psychological layer of Michael's cheating trap. He's basically trying to force Willow into becoming the person he's already decided she is. He thinks she's a liar and a cheater, so he's creating the circumstances to prove it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you watch someone long enough and you catch them at their lowest moment, you can make any interaction look scandalous. Reframing the situation, Michael is acting like a director on a movie set. He's picking the location, the park. He's picking the cast, Chase and Willow. And he's hiring the crew, the mysterious photographer. All he needs is for Willow to slip up once. Just one hug that lasts too long, or one hand on a shoulder, and he has the evidence he needs to walk away and play the victim. It's incredibly cynical. It's the kind of behavior we usually see from villains like Valentine or even Sidwell, but seeing it come from Michael is what makes it so jarring. Now, I want to hear from you, because this is getting absolutely wild. 2 big questions for the comment section. 1. Do you think Michael is justified in setting this cheating trap because of Willow's lies, or has he officially crossed the line into becoming a villain? 2. If Chase finds out Michael was the one behind the photos, do you think their friendship can ever survive, or is this the permanent end of the Quartermaine brothers' bond? General Hospital is absolutely firing on all cylinders right now, and the mistakes leave traces theme is hitting every single storyline. Don't miss a single episode this week, because the fallout from these photos is going to be legendary. If you love these deep dives into the psychology and the hidden secrets of Port Charles, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a recap. Smash that like button if you think Michael is acting like a total Sunny wannabe, and let me know your wildest theories in the comments. Who do you think the photographer is? Is it Elaine Stevens or someone even more shocking? Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll see if Willow can survive the trap that's being set for her.